Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We review anything and everything. And today we're getting into another Hot Wheels unboxing. This is a custom '01 Acura Integra GSR. Now, I do like some of the Japanese import type cars, and this is part of the Hot Wheels J Imports, Japanese Imports line. You have the J symbol there. But also I was a fan of this one because of, one, I really like the color. The colorway actually reminds me of the dark, I believe, I don't know if I'm mistaken on this, but I think that in the Fast and the Furious, the first movie, they were driving dark green Honda Civics. I don't think they were black, but since it was really dark, it's hard to see. I think they were dark green Honda Civics, if I'm not mistaken, which I always thought was cool. But then also the one of the first cars that my older brother used to drive, which, you know, for me was kind of like, you know, when you're young and you're like in that phase of, you know, first time having your freedom, driving around inside a car, whatever the case is, was an Integra. And so I wanted to grab me this Integra when I saw it, because though it's not of the same year, but it still was just having an Integra in the collection. So I just thought that was cool. Here you can see here, it just gives that basic information on the back. Now let's get into this here. And as I always mention, for those who are new to these reviews, I always keep the card so I can have the art, which I always think looks nice, and then whatever information is on the back in regards to that particular line. Okay, so here we go. Let's zoom in a little closer. And you can see you got that metallic flake green, which looks so nice. You got the rims, they look a little basic, but then you got the accent silver going around them, which is fine. Acura, I love all the decals on this. You got the lights, you got the Acura symbol, Hot Wheels down at the license plate area, Acura over there, the top left, which looks nice. Just a lot of detail on it. The exhaust, a lot of these Japanese cars back then used to only just have one exhaust. You didn't have like twin exhausts or anything like that. But you can see it's got like that big muffler. A big exhaust on the back, which is nice because most of those custom ones would have it like that. This just looks so clean. HKS, Rays, AEM, Nito, different branding. And then on the front, keep it simple. They don't have a lot. They don't have the anything for the lights or anything like that, but it still looks very clean. I'm a really big fan of this. This looks so nice. And what's funny is that I think I got into, I had mentioned in a previous video, I got into cars more heavy around 2011. But then as I did more research getting into the cars, it was a couple of years later where I started realizing more about the Japanese import cars, and just really became a fan of them even more. So I knew of them, but I never knew the impact of them in the underground car culture world until later on. And then when I did get into them, I started to learn like a lot of these cars that I would see sometime on the street on a regular day basis, especially ones that were maybe getting older and you didn't think anything of it, but you'd see people with them. You started realizing the impact those cars had on the actual car culture, how popular they were in terms of, you know, customizing them and souping them up and doing all these things to them. And it was like, wow. So some cars were just regular nice cars, like an Integra to me was like a nice, cool looking car at the time. But I started learning more things about like the, the RX-7 from Mazda and all these other ones that you started realizing, even the ones that you would see like this Integra and stuff like that, that you would just thought, oh, it's just a regular nice car, regular, you know, car that people buy. You didn't know that it was being in the underground market or the racing market. People were souping it up. You didn't know it had that culture behind it because I just didn't know about it. So once I learned that, a lot of these cars that, you know, I didn't think that way of now had like a new sense of like interest for them. So yeah, which was cool. Like one car too, that's very common because of the Fast and Furious was the Eclipse. What's interesting is before that movie came out, I really loved the Eclipse because there was a teacher that I didn't know the teacher like that. She was never a teacher that I had. But when I was in high school, she drove a red, all red Eclipse, just like the body shape style as the one in the Fast and Furious movie. And so to me, I would see that and I was like, that is a amazing car. It looks awesome. I never knew that it would become this kind of thing. Even at the time, it probably was a car that was souped up and everything that you know, people would do in that kind of race market. I never knew about that. But then all of a sudden when Fast and Furious comes out, I see it. And now it makes me like it even more because it's already a car that I already like and have interest in. And then now it's like you see it in a movie with this kind of street race culture. So just to say that there's a lot of different cars that are part of that culture that we never really knew about. And then once I found out about it, it became even more enhanced, more interesting. So yeah, you guys, if this car is still available on Amazon, I'm gonna have a link in the description down below. And as always, you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.